are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 23rd meeting for the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right. Good evening. We're going to call the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission for Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025 at 4 p.m. to order. If everybody please stand for the pledge. John?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mary Jane.
Adam Karoka, John Carr,
Here.
Scott Cooley,
Here.
Tom Fath,
Present.
Randy Novak,
Here.
Mark Parkman,
Here.
Connie Grammarosa, Jennifer Farley. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of tonight's agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Public comment. Public comment is now open. Anybody from the public that would like to speak, please state your name and your address.
My name is Lisa Pierzakowski. I'm the Center Township trustee in LaPorte. So listen closely. On April 7th, I received a letter dated March 18th. It was postmarked March 31st for a meeting that was being held on March 26th. So I wasn't properly notified about the meeting last month, and I was just wondering why, number one. Number two, what did I miss at that meeting that I was not able to attend? And I was notified to attend a meeting, but I don't know what happened at that meeting because I wasn't informed of that meeting till April 7th, and that meeting had already passed.
This notice came from Carl
March
Sender.
26th.
This notice came from Carl Sender. Well,
It was just reading his report.
it's his annual report that he has to give, and we have to notify anybody that's involved in the taxing units that are affected by the RDC. We didn't take any action on a new
There was no action. He just reported.
anything. He just gave a report from last year. Did they send that report?
No.
I followed up. He said he was going to be here tonight.
So how do I get a copy of that report?
I'll make sure we'll have it sent.
Record.
Okay, so nothing about the 39 North TIF or anything was discussed at that meeting?
Not with Carl at our regular meeting. It wasn't because of the notice.
Okay.
There was a group here from what's the name of the development? The trailer park.
Cross property management.
Okay.
Right.
So I was receiving this letter just
For
about his report.
Yes,
And then you'll make sure I get a copy of that report?
absolutely.
Okay.
So, Lisa, can we get a copy of the letter that you received?
Can we see it?
Take a look at it.
And it actually shows it came from me, didn't it?
Well, yeah, it's addressed to me from you, dated March 18th for the meeting on the 26th. I received it on April 7th, but it's postmarked the 31st.
Yeah, can we get a copy of the postmark?
Yeah. If I can get this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Carl about that, and he was going to resend it. I thought he was going to be here tonight to just kind of cover everything since he, obviously the notice was a little messed up. So, any other public comments? Any other public comments? Hearing none. Approval of the minutes from last meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Do we have a Zoom available if Carl was trying to get in, or no? Why was it not set up? We didn't take any action to do anything with it. Why was it? Is Mitch getting up to set it up? Is that what he's doing? No. Okay, just checking. All right.
I was told there was no more tips, so we didn't set up.
Then not Redevelopment Commission never took any action on that.
Maintain Zoom.
Doesn't,
The only accounts I believe we have are Microsoft accounts, and
was
Matt
wondering.
has a Microsoft account if he wants to use
Then
it.
if we want to switch it
There's
so
no
it's more
Zoom
secure.
accounts.
Right.
There is no Zoom anymore, as I understand it. I am told there's no Zoom.
The commissioner stopped Zoom. The council still has Zoom with limits. We could adopt something with limits, but
Oh, okay.
I don't believe the commissioners can stop the redevelopment commission from using Zoom. So, I
Whose
mean,
account do we
we
go
should have
under?
taken action on, what?
whose account do we go under if that's
The
what?
county hasn't, the county's not getting rid of their account.
Okay.
They didn't close out every,
We have for two of our district and the Planning Commission.
right.
It's paid for throughout the
So, all right. So I'm assuming Carl Sender's on there to give you a report tonight. Anyway. We'll talk about it before.
Have
next-
Mr. Sender go to Lisa's house. You took her address. You can give her a personal report.
He knows my office.
You know it.
I didn't want to contact him and get billed for it, so I'd rather you guys.
Nobody's getting billed for this one.
Yeah.
All right, communications, Mary Jane.
Communications for the month of March and April. Transmittal of signed March POs to the auditor, request from the auditor for the April treasurer's report. Went to the auditor's office to prepare the April 25 automated POs. Picked up mail at the auditor's office. Herald Dispatch, read the legal publication for claims and allowances for the Redevelopment Commission. Distributed the April 25th or April 23rd agenda to the media. Paxton Media invoice, they add a question about 3 different invoices. We responded to that. Transmitted documents for posting on the web. We updated the schedule of the RDC meeting on the web with Bailey's help, and then updated the date of the meeting, which is the 4th Wednesday of every month. We distributed a draft agenda for review and comment. U.S. bank statements were received and reconciled. We received notice of appeals for the first quarter of the year from the county assessor, and we reviewed NIPSCO bills that were received and processed them for payment. End of communications.
Thank
I have a
you.
question. Do we do this so that the public knows what's going on, or is it a requirement that we read the communications, or what's the reason behind it?
It's something that you all been doing. I mean,
We have it in our packet, and so we can see
Yeah.
what has happened. I just was curious.
Transparency, Mr. Parkman.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Are you suggesting we could take action, limit it from the next month's agenda?
Yeah, unless
If there's something we had a question about, we could ask it, but it's in our packet.
Is that a motion to?
So the
limit the
the only time you'd have to read communication is if somebody from the public actually writes communication to the
Correct.
board that needs to be written. But otherwise, you do not.
Is your motion?
I would make a motion that unless there's a necessary reason to read the communications, that we
Limit the communications.
limit going over it.
Is there a second? Second, yes. All right. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
Mr. President, before you go on voting on things, just so you know, there's 5 of you there. If there's something that's going to be controversial that we don't want to take before the full board, somebody might want to remove it from the agenda. I'm just saying.
Is there anything that anybody wants removed from the
I
agenda?
understand that there might be some resistance to the generator. So my concern would be if there is resistance to the generator, that it be removed to next month since we don't have to pay it.
I had a question about it until I read
Right.
last month's minutes, and then it was pretty black and white.
Okay,
So-
I'm
I'm going to say,
Didn't
after you
ask
give an
anybody.
I was-
explanation, I think it's going to be
I was
crystal
just
clear.
bringing it up to the board's attention.
All right.
I didn't ask anybody about it. I figured it out.
Right. All right. We'll continue on. Treasurer's report, Mary Jane.
Treasurer's report is as follows. US 421, allocation area 1, the balance is $184,629 after the claims are paid today. US 421 allocation area 2, the balance is $97,638. That balance is to be transferred as per your resolution to US 421 allocation area 1. KIDC TIF, the balance is $81,701 after your claims today. And the 39 North allocation area balance is $26,678 after your claims today. End of Treasurer's Report.
Thank you. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's
I'll
report?
make that.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Move on to claims. KIDC, $1,000 for MCR Partners.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. 421-1, MCR Partners, $4,000, NIPSCO $33.84, Harold Argus, $20.74, NIPSCO, $103.78, Guy DiMartino, $1,500, Marcos Electric for the standby generator transfer switch for 421 300 North Lift Station, $49,816 for a total of $55,474.36.
So I do have a question on that.
I was going to say, yeah.
In the minutes, it says that we would pay Love's part.
Hold on. Is there, did somebody make a motion?
Let's do a motion in a second. We'll have
And then we can
conversation.
discuss.
You can still vote it up or down, so.
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to
All
approve.
right. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All right.
Okay.
On the question, would you like to give us an update as to the actual amount that we're going to pay?
Yeah, we're going to pay $24,000 and change. All we're doing is giving credit to Love's to make the accounting easy. And then Michigan City is going to be billed directly for Marquis.
My
Because we're not
question-
giving Michigan City credit.
Right. My question was the timeline. When will Love's pay it back?
Mitch can answer that.
Yeah, so originally I got Loves to, give their third, or at that one time it was half the cost. I spoke to the engineer that I set it up with 2 weeks ago, and she said it should be here to the county in 2 to 3 weeks. So I kind of left it at that. I haven't been pushing any further.
So far, they've been very responsive to it, yeah.
They've
Get
been
it.
real good.
And we have a letter from the city of Michigan City that this was the final thing, and that as soon as this is done, all the sign-offs will be done.
That's the goal.
We've got assurance all the way up to the top, so.
That's the goal.
All right, back to the claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Abstain.
Next item is 39 North MCR Partners for $1,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on. Old business, 421 I-94, TIF update. Matt Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The new hotel seems to be wrapping up. It should be assessed January 1, 2026, and then payable 2027. So that should add a little more funds to the area for infrastructure projects. We got a contact from our friends at Ascend Real Estate. They're marketing their property. I reminded them they still owe us $75,000. Attorney DiMartino and I are exploring opportunities to extract fees and connection charges to recoup some of that money faster if we can, if they're selling property to different entities. We're going to look into pathways to do that, depending on the project and the size and the scope and number of jobs, obviously. It's geared towards retail, looks like. I'm not too into too much of incenting commercial property deals like that. So we can see, we're just going to check into and really try and figure out if we can and what we can do. Can and cannot do. About it. As you heard about the electrical issues, and Michigan City partnership is winding to an end. Once we're finished with that, we'll be able to, as Guy pointed out, that's the goal, transfer that and be done with it. That's all I have at 420. Go ahead.
We had a presentation a year or so ago about a company going in on 400. Is that,
Never heard back from them.
never heard back? Okay.
The property's back on sale. Up for
Back
sale.
on the market, a little bit wet over there.
Yeah.
It
A
is.
little bit wet. Yeah, not much buildable. I think they found that out the hard way. To make that buildable is going to be real expensive.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, moving on to KIP.
The KIP. Let's see. Breakthrough on the land deal. I think we're going to work out where we're going to have that land donated to the RDC.
The easement,
The easement, rather.
rail easement.
The rail easement, sorry, or the land or the rail easement. The bottom line is that the JBC and Edlenborg can move faster. They were given that option. I think they're going to exercise it. So hopefully that occurs between now and the next meeting, and they can be authorized to move forward with that last remaining piece of track that gets to be installed. So we're able to save a lot of time, not have to go through condemnation, save a lot of no need to do appraisals. So that's the pathway we're going to try and go on. Seems like it should work. And thanks to Limborg for stepping up and financially participating in that. That's good. The road issue is we're trying to wrap that up with Tony and get those final documentations before we send it out. Mr. Miller's here to talk a little bit more about the roads. He's been working on trying to get some estimates of to do some a little Band-Aid approach in the interim. It's going to take some time, even once we get all those properties under control, to either get a grant or a deal to finance them. So for those of those companies that operate on Third Line Road, they just honestly can't. And I know that his questions that came forward last meeting had to do with being able to partner with the government, and these are private roads. And his understanding is that we're not. It's not legal for us to spend spend money on private property. But the fact that the county does have or need access through this way was kind of some of the justification of how and why we could financially participate. So if you want to come up and go over the numbers, or does that cover it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd
You got to come up to the microphone.
Okay.
You're going to talk.
So he's working on the numbers, trying to figure out what is the maximum benefit we can get. Still trying to address the adjoining landowners and getting them to financially participate, which is good. That's it.
Yeah, there. Yeah. So Earl Miller, Kingsbury Castings. Yeah, I'm getting a couple quotes on the work out there, and the first approach, as I've talked about before, we all know that this is private road out there, and so we have been under the understanding all these years we have to take care of ourselves, and so we put a lot of money back into that road. And last year, I was able to go around and knock on doors, and the road had gotten so bad that a lot of the other participants, not everyone, but most of the other participants that use that area of the road, they contributed a lot of money, and we paved over, a couple inches on some of the really bad sections. It was really great. And then since then, we've gotten some additional areas that we've gotten quoted out, got a couple bids on that. I'm asking for your help on that because you guys use the road. It's a private road, and I know it's not, I know it's hard to put public money towards private roads, but it's a unique situation, right? You have a island property out there there is no way that you can access it without going on a private road.
But it would be an easement. There's got to be an easement to the property. No such thing as a landlocked piece of property. With the road going, there's got to be an easement, wouldn't you think? No, it's landlocked.
Legally, there isn't, but there is out there.
Anyway, go ahead.
And Matt Deckard.
He was out there.
He was out there. He told you that I saw him driving, down the road, and I went over and talked to him, and he wondered if he was doing something wrong. I said, no, you're not doing something wrong. We're happy to have you come, but it's just all we're asking for is just some participation and collaboration on that. So then the other way that you could look at it is what Matt has approached us with is, okay, so instead of doing the patching, go on and do
an entire repaving of the entire road. And that's the other pricing that I am getting. And I have a combined price for all of the two roads together, but unfortunately, Reith Riley, this is a very busy season, and he has not gotten me the breakout of the two. But that, I don't think you're going to want to put that kind of money in without having the transfer over, where we would then.
My personal feelings is the transfer needs to take place regardless. We need the easements on the road, especially if your position is we have a landlocked piece of property out there. We need an easement, which is a road that everybody uses. So that's my personal feelings.
And that's fine, except that we have for years been taking care of the roads, and you guys have had that equipment out there for 10 plus years, and you've used it without contributing $1 to the use of the road. In fact, you take a property taxes.
When you say you guys,
yeah. Well, I mean,
we guys aren't doing it.
I mean, in general terms.
Cell tower, so
yes.
that when you call 911 and everybody else calls 911, somebody comes.
Right, and we're happy to. We're not trying to be contentious, right? We haven't said don't come out on the road. We haven't, slit tires or anything like that, right? So we're happy to. Well, I mean, there are people out there that would do that, right? By the way, not us, but there are others. If you, I guess what I'm saying is if you help contribute on the lower dollar amount, like what we did last year, then we're probably not going to want to sign over the easement to the land, because then we don't, unless we get reimbursed. And I don't, from my understanding, is we're not going to get reimbursed.
We would maintain it from here in the future.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Because we have so much money invested in it already.
But you've got something that is if we don't have those easements, we can't hardly spend money on it, and everybody's in favor of spending money on it to be able to promote that. Nobody's going to buy it the way it is. But to not have ownership, or at least an easement afterwards, I don't see anybody here going for that.
But you're using the road.
Can I make a suggestion?
Using the road.
Yeah.
We're talking without numbers. We're talking without. So let's see what it is and take a look at the whole thing.
But we need the easements. That's kind of our little deal.
I'm with you, but let's not just start talking without everything.
Right. I agree.
In front of us.
If the county were to get the easements, correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch, then the county could it could be part of our paving, and we get reimbursement from the state to help maintain and take care of those
That'd be great.
roads. But if not, if we throw in now and you don't give your sign over the easements, then 5-10 years down the road, there's going to be a pothole there, and you're going to be back here going, hey, I need some money to patch the road again, and we're not.
Right, because we're happy to do it. I mean, we've already put a couple $1,000s of cold patch in, which, cold patch is not the way to go, but it's.
But you shouldn't have to do it anymore. You see, if you signed it over, it's the county's issue.
Responsibility.
You don't have to worry.
Makes your property more valuable.
If you want to pave it this year, that's great, and we don't have to.
It's a little late to say we're going to pave, to go to the county, because we're not in the paving business. The county is.
Mike Seitz, talked to us a couple of years ago and said, yeah, this is a great idea. And we said, well, the problem is that if you're looking for grants and you're looking for other people to pay it, it's not going to come. And in the meantime, we have a road that has dilapidated. We have employees that are hardworking people that drive on that crappy road.
So if we have a conversation about the easements and find out what we can do to maybe what the cost is, the portion, I'm open to conversations. But I'm just saying that part of that conversation needs to be the easements.
It does, and it also doesn't, because this is a special situation on the north section of Third Road. That is not the same situation as every other road out there.
That might be true, but let's wait till we see the information.
Great. We're open to talking with you. Absolutely.
Let's have a meeting. Yeah.
This is my second year on here. When I first came, we voted, we agreed that we needed those easements, and we're in the process of getting that stuff done. We're paying Hendricks to do that, so that this can be resolved. So when you're talking to your neighbors, help them understand the importance of
working with us on those easements, and then the road issue goes away. I understand you've spent a lot of money in the past, but to keep from doing it in the future, if we have those easements, it becomes part of the county.
The road is in such fragile condition that every single wintertime it just tears itself up.
I understand
And
that.
so
That's why it has
we
to be done
can't
right.
wait another winter because we still have to drive on it
We're
every
happy
day.
to talk about something for this year, but,
Yeah.
and as Mr. Parkman said, I've been on the redevelopment commission for 10 years, and this is something that we first brought up 10 years ago to try and get the easements. So this isn't something that we just started 2 years ago. We've gone through several people trying to get these easements.
And we've been out there since 1971.
But we are working hard at it, and
We
the
are.
engineer is out there doing the work, doing the legwork, which hadn't happened before.
We got a surveyor out there. I mean, we're doing things to get everything in place so that we can do it, get it taken over. So that it is no longer a burden for the people out there. Because we understand. I mean, it's hard for us to market it with the roads the way they are. We get it. So we'll absolutely have a conversation.
I think we need to
Yep,
have more conversation.
absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Appreciate your time.
Yep. Anything else on KIP?
No, sir.
Did they break ground after the shovel? Are they still working out there?
Oh, the bio?
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll be up for tax abatement review at the meeting Monday. They've agreed to a tax abatement fee. I guess they're still working through some items with Kingsbury Utility. But they're ready to proceed, and, you know, that's a $70 million project, so
All right.
pretty good chunk of money.
Just, let's go back to, KIP. That little section of rail that we got to put in.
Yes, sir.
The last piece.
Uh-huh.
And Kingsbury Utility was here to make sure that the
Yes.
utilities were encased under there. That's all part of this whole thing with,
They will not be released to go do anything until
Got
we
it.
can't.
I
They
just-
can't do anything until we get it. They got to quick claim deed it to us.
I just want to make sure there's no, everybody's
Misunderstanding.
aware of everything so
Yes,
that somebody
they're aware.
doesn't do something and,
No, nobody wants
Okay.
anybody to get
Just
sued
wanna
at
make
this
sure.
point.
Got it.
They will not be authorized to move forward once we own the property until Kingsbury is satisfied with the design of the encasement of the water and sewer lines.
and we're
That process.
continuing with the extension on the TIF, working on that.
Yes, sir.
Just say,
It might get a little bigger,
yep, got it. Anything
Penny.
else?
depending. May extend a little bit further.
Yeah. Anything else? KIP, any questions? 39 North?
Nothing to report.
Sounds good.
Winding down.
All right. Is there any, thank you, Matt.
I have one other item about 39 and 20 to give you an update. At our last meeting, we had a group in here talking about doing an updated development, doing some of the mobile home park as well as a commercial development at 20 and 39. So the impetus was, and always has been with this group, is if we're able to extend municipal water and sewer, that targets area for development, that minimizes sprawl, and it puts the development where it's supposed to go. Subsequent to that meeting, I had some further discussions with the city of LaPorte as well as the receiver for this property. And there's always a story, right? So there's one of the trailer parks there is in court, and were several violations, or enough violations to cause court action. And JPR is an engineer. They're also the receiver for the project. They were tasked by the courts to come up with a engineering solution to mitigate the problems. So I had a conversation with their group and said, might one of those solutions be extension of municipal water and sewer to the location? And he said that might be one of the solutions. So it fits into what we were trying to do. Piggyback off of what's occurring, help facilitate more development and get a better solution at the interchange. So I believe from that point, the city reached out to Nice Engineering and they began talking to each other. So from the extension of the TIF and doing a project, I'd recommend that we keep our powder dry until I get a report back from JPR, and then Guy has an opportunity to at least review the case and see what's happening. Depending on what the outcome is and what's in the case, there may be a different directive that the RDC could take with regard to property acquisition, demolition, and relocation. There may be an opportunity there. So I don't know without digging into the case But fundamentally, if the city's going to be, if the utilities are going to be required to be there, then we have an opportunity to upsize those utilities to accommodate more EDUs at the intersection, which would be the goal. This should not only helps that addition to that first project, but thinking further down the road of more development along that 20 corridor in a
Got it.
meaningful way.
Got it.
Okay.
Any other questions for Matt? Thank you.
Yep.
New business? No new business? You have anything? You have anything?
I brought up the
what?
comprehensive plan. We're starting that effort. The first steering committee meeting is May 13th, and we're going to have stakeholder meetings every month. We haven't really figured out yet who to put on the stakeholder group, so it should be interesting group of meetings, and should last about 12 to 16 months.
Should be. Appreciate that. Thank you.
RDC's on that committee.
Any, moving to, any other business? Scott?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.